Yeah, hello everyone. Today I want to talk about domestic violence. Mm-hmm. Bas, in our families. That is what I want to talk about today. And I'm looking at this domestic violence from different perspectives and the different things that make up domestic violence. Because sometimes when we hear domestic violence, we tend to believe it is only physical assault that we mean by domestic violence. Domestic violence is more than physical assault, it is more than battery. There is much more to domestic violence that than what the general knowledge is. And today I'm going to be pointing out to us the different things that make up domestic violence. You see, the Bible even says that a gentle response turns away wrath. Sometimes, how we respond to ourselves may result in domestic violence. Sometimes our actions, our inactions, will result into domestic violence. Somebody says, love is like a flower. If you have a flower and you don't tend it, you don't water it, you don't allow sunlight to touch it, you don't put it in a safe place, it's going to die. So love is something that we nurture. You tend to it. And there's so many things that we can do to tend the love that we claim we have in our marital relationship. So many things. It comes from understanding the other person. It comes from putting yourself in other people's shoes. It comes from the wisdom of God to handle situation. It comes from being able to analyze situation. Because marriages that are working, they are working because some people are consciously working hard to make it work. You must be intentional about making it work. If you are intentional about making it work, God has so designed us in such a way that whatever we put our hearts to do and we dwell on it every day, it works out. It is going to work. The other person is not, it is a two-way thing. It's not just one person now doing all the work. No, everybody must be ready to do their own part. Everybody must be ready to contribute their quota. We must make that conscious effort to make it work, because so many things will come our way. Our relationship will be challenged. Our relationship will be challenged. A lot of things will challenge our relationship. But if we are intentional about making it work, we talk together about what is it that is bothering us. You sit down together and you are able to analyze. Today, a man was saying something about his upbringing. Like, they had so much hardship in their family such that they don't even eat meat. And when he grew up through the thick and thin and everything, he was able to get a very good job. He got married, and his wife had a very different background. And the woman would go to the market, buy meat, do all sorts of cooking, and the man was like, he would just go to her and be like, babe, what's going on? Why do you have, what is going, this is too much. Now, if you don't have the understanding of where that man is coming from, you may begin to get him wrong. And if the situation is not well managed, it might deteriorate into something else. And it might even go out of hand. It might become something that you cannot even manage. And when you begin to banter, you begin to say things that are derogatory to yourself, it's a form of domestic violence, verbal abuse. sometimes it's even more torturing, more disturbing, more painful than physical assault, because it is there in your brain, and after some time your brain begins to play it out. It will process it, you will dwell on it. It's there in your subconsciousness that somebody said this to me. If you validate somebody that is ugly, she'll begin to see herself as somebody that is beautiful, and she will carry herself as somebody that is beautiful. But if you devalidate somebody that is actually beautiful over and over and over and over again, she begins to see herself as ugly. That's how fragile our brain is. So we must make that conscious effort. Both parties. We must make that conscious effort to ensure that our marriages work. That is one of the greatest divine achievements that anybody can attain. It's a divine achievement, because marriage itself is a divine order, is a divine arrangement, is a divine assignment. Because God says we should go, we should multiply and dominate and replenish the earth. He didn't say one person should go, both of you should go. So it's a commandment, it's an assignment that God has given to us as human beings. So if you are able to achieve success in that aspect of your life, it's a divine achievement. I don't know, maybe at the end of the day, God is going to reward people for having a successful marriage. So we must do away with emotional violence, physical violence, mental violence, psychological violence. We must do away with all these things, because they are going to destroy what we believe we are building. And one thing about all these things is they creep in subtly. They just creep in. And if you begin to dwell on them and you don't pay cognizance, they come to stay. And once they come to stay, it becomes a problem. And if that problem is not well managed and solved, it's aggravated. And it becomes something that might even dissolve the relationship, that might take the life of one of the people in the partnership. So we must be very, very smart. Once it is coming, nip it in the bud. Once it is coming, nip it in the bud. If somebody is telling you, if your husband keeps saying negative things to you, don't keep it quiet. Don't just keep it. Go to them and tell them, see, this is what you have been saying into my ears, and I think I'm not comfortable with it, because this is how it is making me feel. When you begin to manipulate the other person, it is domestic violence. When you begin to rob them of the joy, the peace that they deserve, it is domestic violence. If you begin to ring the negative things into their ears, you are denying them. I heard the story of a woman that got married to her husband, and I don't know what happened along the line. This man bought a car, and anytime they are going out together, he will tell his wife to sit at the back. He did a lot of things to emotionally drain this woman. But thank God for her, because her friends, she had very good friends. They came to her aid, and they tried to add some value to her, and she was able to break herself from that emotional torture and emotional punishment. You know how it feels. when you are going out with your husband, somebody that is supposed to be proud of you. And so many men today, I think it's more with men. So many men today, this is a woman you married, this is a woman that you did all sort of things to get her attention. You went all the way to her parents to introduce yourself. You planned the marriage, you spent all the monies, you did all the stress. And after marrying that woman, then you begin to deny her. She can't walk with you side by side on the way. Is that her tummy is too big? Or her body is sagging? Or something is not right somewhere? And you keep saying that to her. It's wrong. It's a verbal domestic violence. Anything you do to make the other person feel uncomfortable. Sometimes, silence speaks louder. Silence can be very, very loud. They say whispers are always very, very silent. There are very loud whispers that they are so loud that they can burst your eardrums. And then you begin to see all these things to her. See some women, they want to go and commit suicide just because somebody has reduced them to nothing through verbal utterances. You see some men, they will be so disorganized. They will be so off the balance because somebody keeps telling them that they are useless. They are not useful. They can't do it. They can't make it. They don't have brains. They can't achieve anything. They can't amount to anything. They can't do what others are doing because somebody keeps telling them. And then decide to find solace in other things. Why do you think those men that go out, and apart from those who are, promiscuous, when you move closer to some men and ask them the reason why they are cheating, they are having side chicks and all that, they just want their respect back. They just want their validation back. And they go to where they can find it. That man that you are calling useless, that is not important to you, is somebody that someone somewhere is looking for. Because of familiarity, I think is something I'm going to be talking about, sometime in the nearest future. I'm going to be talking about familiarity. When we are too familiar with ourselves, there's no gap, there's no space, there's no boundary. And then we throw the caution into the air. But when the consequences comes, it becomes something that we cannot even handle on our own. Because of this familiarity, because this is a man you see every day, this is a man you sleep together every day, this is a man and then you are not creating that boundary. You are not and many of the times, if we are not careful, the boundary is just too narrow that you would have crossed that boundary before you realize it. You will cross it before you know that you have crossed that boundary. So when you begin to talk down on your husband, you talk down on your husband, you talk down on your wife, you are verbally abusing them. You see people, they just withdraw into their shell. They don't want to mingle with others. They feel they are not good enough. They feel they are not beautiful. They feel they don't have the capacity. They feel they don't have the intelligence. Meanwhile, God that created you said He has created you wonderfully, beautifully, marvelously. That what our human brain, what this brain can do, what this brain can do, if you really put it to work, it's not something that you can explain or quantify. It is, our brain is limitless if we use it optimally. It expands. The more you use it, the more it expands. And everything comes from your mind. If you believe in your mind that you are old and outdated, that, just believe me, that is how you will carry yourself. But if you believe you can do anything, you are young at heart, that positive mindset will spoil you. And you will achieve things. You will go places. So it is important that we don't sow wrong things into people's mind. No. Don't sow wrong thing into your husband's mind. Don't sow the wrong thing into your wife's mind. It is an abuse. When you deny them, you know she has a talent, you know she has a gifting, and you are denying them. You know your husband can do a lot. It's so amazing. So women will say, no, I don't want my husband to be rich, so that women will not be coming to them. It's an abuse. You are abusing the God-given destiny to be influential, to be rich, to affect lives that God has given into that man's life because of your own insecurity. It's an abuse. It's an abuse. If you begin to compare your husband to other men and see less of him, it's an abuse. It's a domestic violence. It's not only when they begin to beat you and you sustain injury all over your body that is and I think I need to make this point. It is not only men that beat up their wife. There are some macho women. There are some macho women that when they when they do with their husband, it will cause the day he was given birth to. So it's a two-way thing. It is a two-way thing. I pray that God is going to help us. God is going to bring us out from all these abuse, derogatory words. Look at you. What do you think? Who do you think you are? Come on, go and sit down. You two are comparing. They are mentioning people that are beautiful. You two are coming out. Look at, when was last time you even stood in front of a mirror and take a good look at yourself? They are calling people that are brilliant. You two are coming out, you are talking. What do you know? Forgetting that all these things has a way of sitting down in our subconsciousness. They go there and take a seat and they pile up. They pile up. They pile up. And over time, they explode. And when they explode, we can't manage them. You can't manage them. Physical violence. Beating somebody that you said you love. And another thing is, sometimes action begets reaction. And this is going to women. It's going to us. Because the Bible says, a gentle response, stay away wrath. You see, women, sometimes our temperament, the way we talk, put us on the line. Put us on the line. When you begin to talk, abusive words, derogatory words, frustrating statements, locking a man's shirt, you seize their car keys, you provoke them, you tell them you are going to frustrate them, you tell them you are going to make life unbearable for them to live, you fight them, you don't cook, you don't allow them to have sex with you, you deny them of practically everything. Not considering that this person that I'm disturbing like this is also a human being. He's got emotions. He's got threshold. There's a limit to what every human being can take. And then they begin to warn you, I will beat you. Instead of my mom, when I was growing up, my mom said, once you start having an argument with your husband and the tone of his voice is becoming harsh, you begin to step back. You begin to step back. And when his face and countenance changes, you step out to the door. You step out to the door. And when it comes to, I'm going to beat you, run away. Later when he's down, he has calmed down, come back to the house. At that time, he is now in his normal self. You can talk about whatever happens. But some women, your husband told you, I will beat you. You move closer and say, beat me. He will beat you. You move closer and say, beat me, forgetting that you are a woman. Your face is very important in your life. Your body is very important. Because this body, for us as women, it does more work. You menstruate, you go through pain, you give birth to children, you lose all sort of virtue from your body just because you want to fulfill that mandate that God has given to you. Your body becomes, no matter how healthy it is looking, because some things, life has come out of it. There is that weakness here and there. You've forgotten all that. And in the heat of anger, he said, beat me, and he beats you. And you have scars all over your body. Wisdom is profitable to direct. Verbal abuse, I said it. Wrong words. Intimidation. When you instill fear for further violence, yelling or screaming, constant or prolonged harassment and name calling. Verbal. Some people's mouth is poison. If they open their mouth and talk, even if the man is the only gentleman on earth, he will be provoked to raise his hand. Because sometimes today, a lot of people, they just come and say, no matter what, you must know. Let us teach people. Let us teach people. Even Jesus Christ, when the people went into the temple to go and be buying and selling in his own house, they provoked him. He got whipped and started beating them out. How much more a human being? He said, no matter what, you cannot raise your hand. No, and that is the reason why women keep being beaten up by their husbands, because they are not addressing the issues as expected. You keep quiet. Be quiet. That is what the Bible says. That women be quiet. After, when he has calmed down, you can come and make your point. And you will make your point to the fullest. He will not be able to utter a word. But in the heat of anger, you can see that he's very angry. You have provoked him through your toxic talk. And he's telling, I will beat you up. You still want to enter his face. You'll be beaten. Let us just check ourselves. All these things are things that people are just overlooking. These are the things that people are overlooking. You've provoked somebody. You are saying he should not react. He will react. He will react. Because he's a human being. Even the Bible puts the place of anger. Say we can be angry, but we should not prolong it. If he's very angry at that time, why don't you manage it? That's the reason why you are there to help. Why don't you just manage it? And don't allow the enemy to creep in and exaggerate and overblow everything for you. Sexual violence. It says that when you force someone to participate in unwanted or unsafe or degrading sexual activity, it's so, in fact, a lot of things are going on today. Men asking their wives to be doing all sort of things all in the name of sexual intercourse. Something that is even degrading. You will know that this kind of sexual activity is degrading. They force them to do it. and they threaten them. If you don't do it, I'll go outside and I'll go and meet somebody that can do it. You are domestically violating that woman. It is a violence. It is against her. Talk together. Sit down together. Are you children of God? There are things that are expected of us. Everything is good, but everything is not what we can do. It's not everything good that we can do. It's not everything that is flying out there, all in the name of people are doing it and it is working, that we can do. Because we are children of God. Our body is the temple of God. So even when you are having that sexual relationship, sexual activity, sexual intimacy, you must always remember that your body is the temple of God. And there's a way you do it. Things that are degrading, 100% degrading. Some men will ask their wives to be doing it. It is sexual violence. You make them do it. They say they are tired. You say, no, there is nothing like tiredness. It is violence. They say they are not interested. You want to force them. There must be understanding. It is not every time that a woman is ready. There's so many things that we go through as women because of the hormones in our body, things that are going on in our lives. The children are there, our work is there, everything we want to achieve is there, a lot of things. And if you come with the sexual demand, there should be understanding. There should be tolerance. There should be tolerance. Because though the body is not ours but yours, so also your body is not yours but ours. So there must be an understanding. My body belongs to you. Your body belongs to me. So if what belongs to you is looking for what belongs to me, then there must be that connection of understanding. Psychological violence, mocking, stalking, isolating, threatening, exclusion from meaningful events. Some men, hey, they are trying. You know, these are our men, eh? They say, no, sit down at home. You are going for an occasion. She's trying to dress up. He said, where do you think we are going? Where do you think we are going? No, it is not people like you that they want where I'm going. And a lot of men have pushed their wife into doing things that are not even convenient for them. They will begin to starve themselves. They will not eat again. They will go and be doing all sorts of things to themselves. Say isolating them. Exclusion from meaningful events. Some men cannot take their wives to their family meeting or family gathering. They say, that woman, no, go wobby. They cannot take her to, maybe they are doing something in their office, a gathering of the executives and everything. You can't take her out. You will tell her that she's not fit. Making her feel little. Making her feel little. Psychological mocking, stalking, isolating. When they are going out together, I say, go, just be going. I will meet you. Be going in front. Don't worry. I'll catch up with you. Don't worry. He's trying to avoid her. He's trying to isolate her. He doesn't want people to know that some husbands and wives, they cannot sit together. The wife is ashamed to introduce the man. The man is ashamed to introduce the woman. It is psychological violence. If you don't know, it's not only gbas that is domestic violence. Psychological. You are doing something to that woman's psyche. You are killing her. Her self-esteem, she become withdrawn. She will tell you she can't do it. Anything she cannot do it. She will always want to sit at the back. She will always want to sit at the back. Wherever you are, she doesn't want to stand up to talk. If she make mistakes, small mistakes, she will aggravate it and begin to beg everybody and apologize to everybody. When I make mistake, that is when I raise my head the most. When I make mistake. Though I'll be apologetic. If I need to apologize, I apologize. But I don't get withdrawn because I make mistakes. No. I am a human being and I can make mistakes. And I learn from my mistakes so that I don't repeat it. But she's always afraid of making mistakes. She's always afraid of you. Because she does not know, I don't know what my husband will say again. You are doing something to her psyche. Emotional violence, rejection, pretending not to notice one's presence. Some women will do and overdo and overdo. See what we are doing to ourselves today. They will go and do bump enlargement. They will go and do breast enlargement. The bump enlargement will get infected. They go to the hospital. They operate on them. Sometimes they die. Sometimes they don't recover. Sometimes the breast, water will start dripping as a result of mistakes. Maybe why they are trying to do the surgery. What is she trying to do? She's trying to add value to herself so that somebody can appreciate and validate her. Emotional violence. Emotional violence. Look at your nose. Look at your ear. Look at your face. Look at your bum bum. Look at your chest. Look at your arm. See how flabby. See. You are doing something to that woman. You don't know. You are doing something. And some women, they just say, I am done. You ask them what really happened. They say, I can't explain. But all I just know is, I'm just tired. I just need to move on. Beautiful destiny. That you need to speak positively. You speak positive things. Boost their confidence. Improve their self-esteem. Let them feel so highly of themselves. Encourage them. Build their confidence with strong and positive words. Validate them. Let them see themselves as somebody that is important and not little and nothing compared to a thing. Religious violence. There's another one that they call religious violence. And that's the reason why, a woman of God said, marry from your tribe. Marry from your tribe. If you marry from your tribe, meaning marry from your faith, it becomes very easy. But peradventure, you marry somebody of another faith, you can only gain them through your good works. That's what Paul Apostle said. Say if any woman is married to an unbelieving man, through their good works, they can win them over. But that is an extra work. That's an extra work. I pray that God is going to help us. So let us just have that understanding that it is not only beast, battery, that is domestic violence. All these things, verbal, sexual, physical, psychological, even economic violence. When you withhold economic resources from that woman, she's not as rich as you are. Some women don't even have a job or a business. And then, that is the weapon that you have. She make demands, you will not meet it. That is domestic violence. It's a form of domestic violence. When you defraud them, when you don't give them food, clothing, basic necessity, medication, shelter, you prevent them from working because of your selfish interest. It's a form of domestic violence. You prevent them. Some men will say, by the time she start working now, she will have money to take care of herself, and she'll be looking more beautiful, and the other men will now come and be so myopic in their thinking. Some men cannot even withstand their wife's progress and success. We must manage all these things. If a woman is doing well, if you have more money than your husband, you should know that that is the time for you to manage his ego, to massage his ego. You make him, carry him along with whatever you are doing, because men have ego and they always want to see themselves in control. And one of the things that make control very strong is economic power. It is the person that have the economic power that have the most control, and that is the truth. So when a woman has more economic power than the husband, you should know you need a lot of wisdom. He is going to react because he's a human being. Let us know, sometimes people shy away from the truth and reality. He will react because he's a human being. Because you feel threatened. You feel that the power is no more with him again. Meanwhile, he's the head of the family. That is the time to prove him wrong. That though you are financially buoyant, you are financially stronger than him, he's still in charge. He's still your husband. That's not when to begin to flaunt things. That's not when you now carry everything on your head. Kakaka. Still go to him and ask him to give you money to make your hair. Still go to him and tell him that if you do all these other fashion, you do nails, you do whatever, go to him. Tell him, I want to buy my powder and it is you that must buy it for me. Don't make him feel less important. Once you don't go to him, you don't look up to him again, you begin to feel less important, and he will react because he's a human being. That's the time to massage his ego. That's the time to do things that will assure him that he is still in charge. I was talking to a child. Tell me some good things about your dad. He said, that's going to be difficult. I said, what do you mean? He began to say wrong things about our dad. And the most surprising aspect is, I said, so who provides things in the house? He said, what do you mean? I said, okay, the house you are living, who provides it? She said, it's the landlord. I said, okay. So who is paying the landlord? He said, okay, my dad. I said, then the food, every other, and she said, well, that's not my dad. My mom can buy stores because she's working. That is because there is a loophole. The woman has said some things to that girl. For otherwise, if nobody knows who does what, she won't come out to say that. Everybody just do it. Everybody just do it. Anybody who is able to do it, just do it. They don't know who is doing something. They just know that things are happening in their house. They want to eat, there's food. They want to buy clothes, there's clothes. If you and your husband, you want to talk about it between yourself, it's between you and your husband. So in that kind of home, there might be problems. There might be problems because already the girl's psyche has been, conditioned in a particular way. So when you are doing better than your husband, that is the time you become more humble, more submissive, carry him along, let him be private to everything. Don't begin to do things behind him. Don't begin to let him know that you can exist without him. He will react. And those men that will always held things, money, they ask for money, you are punishing them, you not give them, and they are not financially buoyant, it is a form of domestic violence. And what are some of the things that can cause domestic violence? Hardship, stress, lack of money, feelings of insecurity, suspicion, fear, character defect, alcohol and drug intake, complex issues, inferiority complex. These are things that can cause it, that can cause domestic violence. When you are too jealous, you will stab the man before you know that the person that you care so much about, such that you want to fight everybody in the world because of him. You will kill him and you will not know. Destiny helpers, you will chase them away because you are too jealous. Insecurity, you will not allow him to fulfill destiny. Fear, you can't go anywhere. You will perpetually be tormented by that fear, because fear torments. And if care is not taken, you will transfer it. You will transfer it. I pray that God is going to help us. If we are able to consider all these things and we carry our marriage to God, because at the end of the day, that is where we can find solace. That's where we can find help. It's our present help in times of need. Just give it to him to help you. He will help you. There's nothing that prayer cannot do. God, in my own home, I don't want domestic violence. Help me. Help me. As a man, tell God to help you. As a woman, tell God to. If you don't provoke him, you will understand yourself, and you will say to some women, their husband will do and do and do and do. Still, they will be fighting that man, disturbing that man. And it is the help of God that we need, and the wisdom of God. And I pray that every home that domestic violence is going on, in terms of physical assault, in terms of verbal violence, in terms of psychological, emotional, economic violence, where all these things are going on, I pray that God is going to intervene. But much more, let us commit everything to God, because he is the one that can actually help us. And let us be intentional about making our marriages work. I'm going to come your way some other times. And I pray that God will continue to uphold our homes, uphold our marriages, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. And I want to implore you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this message. Some people really need it. Share it to people around. Share it to them. They need it. We need this knowledge. It is not only physical violence that we call domestic, violence in marriages. There are others that we are not paying attention to, and they are ruining our homes. They are ruining our health. So when we think, and they will develop diseases. They need it. Share it to them. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you will never regret that you come to this page and listen to this message. I'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.